Alright guys, we are down to 2 teams on the WBE left to cover. Today we're taking care of Jack and the rest of Nerd Out Music. Let's hit it. Alright ladies and gentlemen, here they are, the 8th Hawluchas and coaches Nerd Out Music. Specifically, we're going to call out good old Coach Jack, because I think he's the one that actually is playing the matches for Nerd Out. Obviously, they do fantastic commentary if you checked out our Week 1 matches to make you scream. If not, go watch Week 1 of the WBE at this point. We can see the team on the right. Obviously, again, this is based on when I was currently recording, which was still towards the end of Week 1. So if they've made any transactions since then, I would try and cover them, but I'm already a week behind at this point. So this is as of first draft of the team as it came out. You can see them on the left. We got Gmax, Colossal, Indeedee Female, Hawlucha, Urchin, Klutzer, sneezel, dublade, raichu, BEM, Virizion, and more pico. Very strong team. A lot of dark types on it too. I'm kind of liking the 8th Hawlucha and the dark vibes that come off of it. But let's start with the gears. Gears for this team, I see a very heavy Trick Room team in Gmax, Colossal, and BEM. I also see a very fast Colossal coming in with Klutzer, Steam Engine, and Colossal as well. Colossal being able to play both sides of this board is going to make it really interesting, I think, for enemy teams to pick whether they're going to go fast or slow. Otherwise, the other thing we see for this team that could be very potential is Psychic Terrain setup with a Hawlucha with Unburdened and the Alolan Raichu with Expanding Force. I think definitely could be a great leadoff for this team. Alright, let's talk Poke highlights. From the top, we have Gmax Colossal here, our big Colosso boy. If he's running a fast set, it's going to be pretty standard. It's got Gmax Vocal Lift for damage over time against anything that isn't a fire type, just like Gmax Charizard. Obviously, Steam Engine as its unique hidden ability to get that max speed out, or it can be running slow in Trick Room too. We've seen both of these types come out before in previous draft and in previous competition level battle. Obviously, my pick for this is probably going to be like Heat Crash, Body Press, Earthquake, or Rock Slide. It all depends on what the set wants to really run. But no matter what, we're going to see this thing Gmax, and I think a good majority of the time, and see those Gmax Vocal Lifts comes off. Next up, we're rocking the Indeedee Female. Obviously, Psychic Terrain setup, and really, I only think I can see this thing click and follow me over and over and over again. It gets moves like Expanding Force and other sort of redirection and debuff ability, but for the most part, this thing's going to come out front with Colossal. It's going to come out front with Hawlucha. It's going to click that redirect ability, and they're just going to start laying in with that damage. Love to see it. Indeedee Female, the second best redirection right behind Togekiss, and it's only by about that much. Next up, we got Hawlucha, the 8th Hawluchas getting their mascot pick. Hawlucha is super strong with its Unburdened ability to eat that Psychic Seed out front, get that boost in special defense, and then be super fast in the Psychic Terrain. Ignoring priority, obviously super important with Psychic Terrain as well to block those fake outs and such. It does not technically have to Dynamax, but I expect this to be a Dynamaxer most of the time when we see it coming out, getting those max Airstreams off, those max Knuckles to get itself boosted in speed and in damage coming out of it. Super strong for the Psychic Terrain. After that, we're rocking our little Urchin-y boy, our little free hugs, as A-Drive likes to call him. I can also see this being a very good lead with Hawlucha, getting that Electric Seed instead for a physical defense boost. Urchin, it's got a bunch of support-y-esque moves. It can run Discharge, it can run Volt Switch, it can run Scald, it can run Toxic as well. I'm not really sure what they're going to be running with it necessarily speaking, but ultimately it is a good bring to set the electric terrain for any of those teams that are running Heavy Sleep, like Venusaurs and possibly the Hypnosises coming off of a couple of the Trick Room setters on other teams. After that, we got our Mega Launcher boy in Klutzer. I always mispronounce that name. This is the first time I think I've got it right on the first cut. But Klutzer super strong with Mega Launcher, boosting those moves like Water Pulse, Dark Pulse, all the Pulse type moves. Super great for being able to proc the Steam Engine on Colossal. I think they did that match 1 at WBE, but I'm not positive. So definitely super strong to bring outside with Colossal once Indeedee possibly goes down here, to just be able to proc its speed out the wazoo and have it then just be able to sit there in the back launching damage in as well. After that, we're rocking Sneezel. Sneezel, a fake-out user. It's very strong with its physical offense and its ability to use ice-type moves like Icicle Crash, Ice Punch, etc. The only downside I think we'd ever see to Sneezel here is the fact that it's pretty frail overall. After that, we're rocking Dublade. Dublade, an interesting bring. I'm surprised AG Slash or AG Slash, depending on how you guys want to pronounce it, whatever, wasn't drafted at all this season, but still super strong. It's got Flash Cannon, it's got Shadow Sneak, it's got Shadow Ball. It can be a very good special attacker and very speedy overall. After that, we got our little chocolate chip on tail in our Surge Surfing Raichu. Raichu obviously super strong in that electric terrain that Urchin can set up for its speed boost. It does get great special attack potential with Discharge. Also, if it does come in on the psychic terrain instead, it could potentially be popping Expanding Forces out and be a super strong competitor for knocking out everything with Expanding Force. After that, we have a Trick Room setter in Behem. Behem, I think, would be more reverse Trick Rooming for this team than actually coming in to set Trick Room itself, but it's a very bulky boy overall and been used a lot in the past for various competitive matches. Obviously, still pretty strong special attacker, getting Psychic, probably Expanding Force as well in the new DLC, and a bunch of other special type moves, Energy Ball, Shadow Ball, etc., to use to help be offensive with the team. Coming in the back, we've got Virizion. Virizion, another one of the trio with Justified as its ability, being able to get up, get that Dynamax off, set itself up with some Dynamax moves and Max Knuckle and Max Overgrowth, and then still be able to put a large amount of output damage out after its Dynamax. And finally, in the back, we have our little more Pico. I love this Pokemon's look overall in its shiny form, looking like a little s'more. I don't really have much logic behind this pick for this team here, but ultimately I'm seeing a couple different things overall in maybe he's going to be using it for speed potential, maybe to proc a weakness policy with something. I've yet to really figure it out fully in this team, but hopefully we'll get to see Jack and team bring it in the near future to be able to talk about what it's going to do. Alright, let's talk the leads next. First off, we're going to talk Gmax Colossal. We kind of already covered it. Whether this thing is standing next to Indeedee Female, or klutzer, or maybe even Urchin, no matter what, it's going to be the Gmax. It's going to just start wailing into things, and there's so many things that they can bring in the back, or after Indeedee or Urchin goes down, that just help it do so much more damage and help it survive so well, that I think we're definitely going to see this Pokemon as a lead-off at least one of every 3 matches every time the Hawluchas play. Second to that, we're going to give it to our mascot pick in Hawlucha. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't see the Indeedee or the Urchin and this thing coming out front to just do massive offensive, unburdened speed ability damage coming off of it. It is a strong pick in VGC, just in competitive in general, and it is a super great bring for this team. Alright, let's talk gaps. The main gap we already talked about a little bit earlier, and a lot of the Pokemon here are Dark type, or they're weak to Dark type. So, we're going to see Sneasel, Behem, Virizion slightly, Alolan Raichu, and even slightly, depending on how you look at it, with Indeedee Female and Hawlucha, all being weak to Dark fighting types like Pangoro, or just pure Dark types in what some other teams have. It is not the worst case scenario to have here, because there's a lot of coverage this team can have with redirection and EVing their Pokemon out correctly, but definitely something that won't want to be slept on by this team is to watch out for those very physically speedy Dark types. Finally, match to watch will be the Week 2 of the WBE, which hopefully will be out by the time this video goes live, and I will hopefully link it down below. Make sure you go check that one out. Nerd Out Music and Jack had a great first match, and it was in our weekly roundup, so go take a look at that as well. But go check out Week 2 now that it's live. There you guys have it. We are down to one team, one more left to cover for the WBE. We will cover them tomorrow for you, so make sure you look out on the channel for that as well. Make sure you go give Jack and Nerd Out Music some love up over here on this side. Yeah, I changed it again. And make sure you click that subscribe button up over here for all of our WBE coverage. We'll check to you guys later. Peace.